G'day and welcome to a video. Someone actually asked me a question about how does my tank drive. So here we are, we're on a road, and if I get up to speed, I actually have a really slow-ish turning circle for a tank steer. So you can see here I'm really slowly trying to do a U-turn, and it's actually quite a wide turn. But if I stop, I've also got access to my tank steer controls, so I can actually push my tank around on the spot. So I've actually got the best of both worlds on this particular build. Let's get off and give the hay bottom a bit of a whacking. Yeah, so to do it, it's actually got 3 electric engines and a gas engine. I'll go through the quick explanation of that. So we'll take the refiners off. Now that we're looking at the chassis, you can see I've got it fairly tight all around. So these controllers here are all the mining controls. So here is our turning control. Now the engines on the sides, this one here has a button on it as well, which corresponds to my seat buttons, and then a logic. And the logics are considered, this one's set to an AND, and I've got another one which is set to an OR down here. So basically, when both this sensor is on and my sensor for forward is on, which is this red one here, comes down to when both of them are on, switch the engine on. And then the other option is when I press the button, switch it on. So there's the OR for this particular engine, and this engine drives just this side. And I've got the mirror over on the other side, so that this engine has exactly the same logic and exactly the same. So I've got twin bearings on each axle, so one's for this particular motor, and then this rear motor here is forward and reverse on the other bearing, and it's just connected up to the seat. So the seat is also connected to a gas engine. Now the gas engine is configured and attached to this one here, and it comes down to this particular gas engine. So what that does is it moves this arm onto or off the sensors. Now it's got a stopper post on this side. That would be reverse, but reverse is not connected because they're only a forward engine. So when the gas engine is pressed forward, this sensor moves across. Now by adding the resistance with a suspension piece, you can adjust when that kicks in. And the other thing you've got is on the gas engine, you've got a slider as well for power. So adjusting this slider adjusts how fast the turbo function kicks in. So what I'll do is find a tree, get ourselves up against a tree. So the reason to do that is we can then play around and get ourselves. So looking at the different logic, so if I press number 8, it should switch on the right hand side, and you can see the logic gate there turn on, and again for the other side. So there's the 2 logic gates working, and we're up against the tree. Now when I steer left and right, there's that forward one, so it switches off that particular engine. So what that will do is the outer side, the right hand side, will travel faster. Now at the back of the vehicle, where those boxes are, is that turbo arm. So when I press forward, it switches it all on, and I've got a bit of a delay in how quickly that arm takes effect. So you can tune down your gas engine a little bit, and that gives you an adjustable point where the turbo kicks in. So there it's a bit slower. So if I tap the key now, there's the delay of the turbo. So again, I'll press the key now, and there's the delay in the turbo. So I'm moving by the normal engine first, and then I'm hitting the side engines on. You can see the logic kick in for those. And now if I turn, that changes the logic, and it switches that side on and off. So you can see that switching off the left hand side as we're looking at it from above. And then if we do the same, that's the right hand side when we're looking at it from above. Yeah, so, and then I've got reverse. So all I've got on the main engine is forward and reverse, but then I've got the turbo function which kicks in as well. And that kick from the turbo function is what gives us our ability to drive on the road. So I'll just put the refiners back in. I'll get ourselves over there. I'll put our refiners back in to give us the mass that we need on the road. This is all configured for that particular weight. So if I'm travelling light, I'm going to drift around and behave a bit funky. So I just plug them back in. Now I have spotted I did have a quick problem with one of my suspension arms moving around, so I'll just put this back on the lift, get everything all squared away. Now the speed of the turn on the road, on the turbo turn, is adjusted by the difference in this engine. So if I make this one down a notch, the speed difference between this engine and the turbos, as long as they're set to the same speed on either side, so both of them are set to max on the other side, so that gives us our electric engine. So now our speed is a bit slower until the turbo kicks in. We go on turbo, and then when we turn, our turn is tighter, is much tighter for turning with that adjustment to the engine, and we've lost a little bit of speed. But that gives us a lot of adjustability on the turning. So this is for tuning the turning. Get this guy out of the way. As always, interruptions by the haybots. Oh, Toadbots too. I want that component kit. What are refiners for? Where was I getting? Oh, adjusting the corners. So we want to make this one up. I'll make it one more higher, and this will adjust our turn speed when we're at high speed. I have played with that turbo, so just making sure we've got our turbo function. And there's a turn. They're nice and slow, quite sedate, very accurate, nice speed for on the road, nice and controllable. And then as much as I adjust that turn control, I don't affect the ability to do my tank steers. So we can actually tank steer out of the way here, put ourselves back in the road the way we want to go, and we're good to drive off and use our logic gates for turning and stuff. I have noticed sometimes I have trouble getting one of the turn engines to kick in, and that's usually because the speeds are too close to each other. The more varied you have the speed, the better the turn behavior you get is. Yeah, so I hope that's a tour. I hope it makes sense. If anyone wants more detail on how that logic behaves, it's all down to, I've got my tank steer for when I'm mining, and then I've got this nice cruisy control while I'm on the road. So I've got my tank steer, and then when I'm on the road, get that turbo on, and then we've got our ability to have a nice smooth turn as we're going around the corners and that sort of stuff. So when we're getting around, we've got a good amount of control, a bit of drift because of the weight. Hope this helps. This is why I run around on this particular machine. It's where I spent a lot of my component kits, and that's why I make it. This machine's going to take a bit of time to use. Obviously, I'm going to get home because I'm running out of batteries. So I'll get that done. I'm nearby. Home's over that way. So even on the grass and that sort of stuff, very capable little vehicle. Sometimes you've got to back off a little bit, but I find this one gets me to where I've got to go, nice and easy, gives me the ability to mine, which is what it's for. And then sometimes I put a refine bot trailer on the back so I can have everything ready before I get into my base. Thanks very much. Catch you later.